Recording is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I will be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube Stunthangar Video Hangouts every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 Pacific Standard Time. PM. And pardon me one second. Okay. So make a note of this that you can watch or be part of this live stream if you come here during that time and you can be part of the show. Plus, we have an after party following the stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must, although, have been registered with Stunthangar Forum membership to find the link to attend the after party. Now, here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. Now, to join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you are not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. If you are inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching this on YouTube, fantastic, wonderful. You can just participate by asking questions or making your comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make sure your comments or questions are part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get in a word in myself, but be patient. I will ask the panel your question. Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. That's what I mean by like. When I say like, I mean thumbs up. And then subscribe and share the videos. This helps the channel grow. Please consider joining our YouTube channel membership, which start at $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. With your memberships, I'm talking about the YouTube memberships, you will get a special icon in the chat box. I'll notice to you that you are a member or not. And also, as a member to our YouTube membership, you get to view unlimited uploaded member-only videos that Sparky has uploaded. And once a month, he does a Q&A section where you can get your questions answered by someone who's built over 400 airplanes and who's building planes all the time. So you can find out what he used to do and what he does now, and find out what the change is or why. And I want to ask you to please keep the conversation during this YouTube program family friendly. In other words, don't use any words you wouldn't say around your children or grandchildren. And I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making this happen. And let me get to I'm going to post the link at Stunthangar, and I'm posting it now as we speak. So that's posted. And let me check on the YouTube side here. It looks like we have excellent connection, and we have 3 viewers already. Thank you very much, and thank you for the likes in advance. We're just getting started, and I really appreciate that. And don't forget the live chat. If you have any questions or comments, you can make them known there, and I keep an eye on it the whole night. Something I do. Also, our YouTube memberships, don't forget that too. So let me see what's going on. There's no one in the live chat. We have 5 playbacks so far. And let me rearrange this screen here. I'm the only one in the meeting right now. Let me move this over. Okay. And it looks like it was posted in the chat. Okay. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Charles.
So the link was there, right?
Hmm.
All right, good. So how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Awesome.
Interesting thing is, I don't know if I mentioned that I just found some other idiosyncrasy with the Saginaw kid. I'll wait until John gets on,
Okay.
since he did
Well,
the
that's good.
drawings.
If you can, if they don't learn these things that's going on, they won't fix these things. So it's good that you are doing this. Hey,
Yep.
Gary, Mr. Gary
Hey,
Sinclair, how you doing?
good. How you doing?
Doing wonderful. Fantastic. Beautiful day out here. I mean, I know that not everybody
Yeah,
has this kind of weather, but it really was a beautiful day today.
Yeah,
yeah,
warmed up down here too. Has been in the 50s pretty much all of this week. Today got up to 75, so it was a lovely day here too.
Oh, good. Good. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I didn't fly today though. I wasn't quite ready. I've been working on this chipmunk of mine, and it has a stock OS 35S,
Hmm.
and I had the stock muffler on there. But I came into a tongue muffler from Jim Lee,
Okay.
but I had to drill there's a boss on each side of the exhaust port of the
Oh,
exhaust
okay. So you have
pack.
one of those that has the ones on either side. Mine's only got the one in the middle.
Yeah. So actually, uh, during the after party, I went and drilled out those two holes and did a pretty good job.
Yeah. See, you see, the one that I have doesn't have the boss on either side. It only has this one screw hole in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of those. Yeah, I only have one that has the boss on each side.
I got a
But
like
this
in there.
tongue muffler is a third. What'd you say, Gary?
I
So
got,
you're gonna mix up a special batch of fuel to run in it?
I got,
Um,
I got a like in there.
I'm
Oops.
gonna just
Some,
Uh,
use Omega fuel and add about 7.
yeah. Yeah, that's the only reason I haven't. That's the only reason I haven't put this in anything really, because I don't want to have to start messing with two different two different fuels. Hey, John.
How you doing? Doing Gary.
hi, Nudie.
Charles,
I heard John's voice.
how the heck are you?
Yes, John.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Hey, you got a shave
Anybody see John?
No,
Oh,
I
there he is.
didn't
Now he's
shave.
coming up.
I just
trimmed.
put too much milk on for breakfast and the cat licked it all off.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Good
Where'd
to
you
see
go?
you, John.
Hey, John.
I
Yeah.
wonder if I have a.
On the Saginaw kit, an interesting thing. It has to do with the leading edge sheeting. In the book, when they discuss sheeting the leading edge,
Yeah.
they sort of indicate, or would rather indicate, that the sheeting, we should start at the trailing edge of the spar that runs down on a wing.
Yeah.
However, with the wood that they supplied, if you do it that way, the wood isn't long enough to get to the
Not
leading
wide
edge.
enough to make
It comes
make it
ends
all
up
the
being
way.
short.
Yeah. Well, frankly I would not start it right at the trailing edge of the spar because I like to have a little bit of a ledge there to put the
cap strips.
cap strips on, and start them. So I'd move that in, but that probably won't make enough room for you anyway.
No, basically, when you get towards the tip of the wing, yeah, you have plenty, but at the root, it doesn't actually even reach the spar if you want to bring it up on the leading edge where it needs to be.
Well, it looks like you need to make get another sheet and strip off about an inch wide and edge glue it with like ambroid or white glue or something like that.
Oh, you mean turn around and end up taking two pieces, put a piece of tape, and basically butt gluing it and then doing it that way?
Yeah.
I was hoping to avoid that.
That's what I would do. And since you've got that and it's 2-3 inch wide, you probably by cutting it on the bias, to fit the leading edge with a little bit of overhang there, you probably have enough out of just those two sheets.
Yeah, I probably kit probably has enough wood in it. I just have to be a little bit strategic and make sure I don't end up being short or end up with pieces that are don't cover half the wing.
But it's looking good.
Oh yeah, I would have had it. I would have had the thing. I would have had the wing done, except running into that little problem and trying to figure out how to resolve it. But yeah, I definitely do want to have that sheeting at least halfway on the spar. And just if it doesn't make it to the spar at all, you just compromise strength.
Oh, absolutely. You lose all your seat tube advantage.
All righty, I figured I'd just let you know. And the thing is, it's not like the list of materials. It's not like they accidentally substituted the wrong width of 1/8 inch balsa. List of materials says it's a 3-inch wide piece, but that 3-inch wide piece is just about, I'd say a half an inch too narrow.
Yeah. You know what they say, SH.
Yeah. Like I said, no big deal. I mean, I have no problems making the adjustment. I figured I'd just let that know for anybody that may be on the YouTube channel and are considering buying and building the kit. These are things they'll run into.
Yeah, well, like I say, it appears to be like if you butt joint those two, then cut on the diagonal. Yep. You should be able to. You're not losing anything.
I'm completely comfortable doing that. It's basically that's basically what I need to do if I need to make skins for a foam wing. So I've done it before.
Exactly. What you making, Charles?
Oh, just taking up some popcorn. I got some mixed caramel and regular popcorn. Just mixing it up, and some kettle corn in there.
I thought so.
The nice concoction. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, Charles.
You know what I got here?
Thanks for your comment. I saw. Hang on, John. I saw your comment you made on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.
Oh, sure, no problem.
I got what's left of a full party-sized bag of barbecue potato chips. That's what's left. I just opened them up less than an hour ago.
Well, at least you stopped, John. You stopped before you finished the whole bag in one sitting.
Not yet.
Maybe by the end of the night.
Yeah.
So, Tom, so what'd you like about the height guides, I call them?
Oh, I just thought it was a great idea and looked like they would be very useful.
Yeah, just they're a little bit heavy. I only have 2 of them, and when I look back, when I was probably doing my best at contests, I was using those things religiously, and for some reason I stopped using them, and maybe it's just I'm not flying as good, but I was doing better before when I was practicing with those things.
Sure.
You might have gone over the edge, Charles. We all used to fly better when we were younger.
Well, I like to think of my preparation. I just, so I have this video, and let me show you what Tom and I were talking about. It's a little short 2-minute video. And let's see here. So I had this epiphany one day to do this. Whoops. And let me bring it up so it won't buffer. Okay, let's see if this is the right video. Hi, this is Charles Carter. I want to do a little tutorial on a designed. Another friend of mine, Bob Brooks, had a suggestion that I should turn the orange part diagonal so you can see it better and have the stripe going the other way. But I just want to show you how I made it. It's made out of ABS pipe. You can get it at any do-it-yourself store, big box store like Lowe's or Home Depot. Then I got another ABS flange on the bottom, and this is made out of melamine. Have a little handle, so if I want it, it's easier to transport. But I basically take it apart. Let me just show you. I just will unscrew this here. I'm using one hand holding the camera. And trying not to hit my head when this thing comes loose. And man, my left hand's getting tired. Is it really unscrewing or not? Come on. This might be there we go. So it just comes apart, and you can see I got a little shadow here now. You can see it's just an ABS flange there, bolted to the melamine. And then I have some pipe straps holding the back of this. And like I said, a great suggestion would be to turn this, right now it's in like a portrait. If I was to, let me zoom out a little bit if I can. No? I guess I'm just too close. Anyways, the point is, if I could turn it this way so you could see a longer line. Anyways, hope that's helpful. Hope that helps someone else. And then I have another one on the other side of the field. Let's see if I can zoom in on the other side of the field. Right there. The glare makes it look like it's not orange, but it's identical to the other one. Same base. Where'd it go? Anyways, you saw it momentarily. There it is. Same base as this one. It's just kind of hidden in the grass. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you next time.
That looks like a rather robust way of doing it. Probably could have gotten away with like 1-inch pipe instead of 2.5 inch or 2-inch, but
You're muted, Charles.
Thanks, Tom. I didn't realize I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to end this this stream here. Oh, I know how to do that. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good. How about you guys?
Doing well. Doing well. Let me stop.
Here.
You got your quarter lap marks, for your width of your maneuvers.
Yeah.
You want to be really up there with the big boys and the big boy toys. You could have 8 of them.
I know. I thought about that. That's a lot of work to set up, though.
I know. I'm kind of jerking your chain a little bit there, buddy.
Yeah, it's
but it actually isn't a bad idea.
Oh, I think it'd be great to have that. But fortunately, I moved from this site is at the same park I fly at, but I found another site to fly at, and there I'm really close to these baseball diamonds, and they're thin, and they have a corrugated plastic, bright yellow plastic right on the top rail of the fencing. and that's
Yeah.
6 feet. So I have these two
I
baseball
was
teams
gonna,
that have that. So like 2/3 of my circle now is there automatically without me having to set up. But when I get serious, I can bring out the other two, and then I would be set. It'd be like at the World Championship.
yeah, I was gonna mention that. You could go where they play baseball, and they got those yellow things on top of the fence there, and they're just about a decent height. You want to be at least a little bit underneath of that.
Yeah,
And and you don't. And the neat thing about it is you don't have to carry anything out and set it up. You just
yeah. I'm looking forward to when we do have contests, and in preparation, that's kind of how I will prep. We'll be using those height guides.
Yeah. Well, I got a neat package yesterday in the mail. Jeff Riley, built me that paint stand for the plane,
Yeah.
and that showed up, and he did a pretty darn decent job on
So you're
that.
gonna have to do a. Can you do a video
Well,
showing
didn't
us?
you get one?
No,
you get one?
I gotta go pick up mine.
Ah.
I have to drive almost 2 hours each way.
Well,
up a hill that steep, and back.
yeah.
Same hill,
Both
going
directions.
Both ways.
Both ways, yeah.
up. Yeah.
And
So,
it's snowing at the top, right? Yeah.
Barefoot, and you have to ride with the windows down, right?
So this
Yeah.
is an example of my friend.
Well, I tell you, it's a nice unit, and it all folds up. It's kind of neat. It folds up, and I'm thinking about figuring out a way to make some straps and make a handle. So when I want to paint outside, I can just pick it up and it folds up, and take it outside, set it up, and paint. Because I love having the paint holder, the paint stand. I mean, when I was working on my plane over at Gordon's house, it was nice because they put it in there and you could use it for sanding. You didn't have to worry about dinging it or banging it into something. You just put it in there. You can turn it, sand here, turn it over here, sand there. So.
Now, did you feel you needed to support the tail at all, or is it fine working on it without its tail support?
It works fine without tail support. It bolts right into your motor mounts. If your motor mounts can't take it, then you got other problems.
Okay.
And you made that out of PVC? I didn't.
No, that's not made out of PVC.
No. Yeah.
But he made it so the part that holds the plane like this, you rotate this way.
Wow. Well,
You can also do this way.
I'm going to pick mine up.
Rotate.
I need to talk to Jeff and see. I know last weekend it was the rain. So maybe I might be.
Well, now see, mine has got casters on the legs, which is kind of nice. But I don't think you wanted casters on yours. I like to be able to. Well, I'm still
I wanted casters. I wanted casters. I don't think he was going to make. I don't know if that came up. I wanted casters. I don't know if that was an option.
I just asked for him to put casters on there, and he put them on there because it's nice. You're sitting in your chair, and you reach over, turn it around, you don't have to lazily get up and reach over and take a step or two and turn it, take a step or two back and sit your butt back in the chair.
Right, absolutely. Yeah,
you got to talk about the height of laziness.
Yeah. So how many casters do you have? 4 casters or 3 casters?
3.
All right.
How much did it cost to ship it to you?
I don't know yet. He said he'd have an invoice in there, but I haven't seen an invoice in there. He did put the 3 sets of plans in there that he wanted me to take a look at. So I've got those, but like I say, I think he's probably right. I would imagine at the very minimum, $35, $30 for shipping, you know. And he may be right. It may cost more for the shipping than it costs for the, you know, to buy the fixture from him. I mean, I appreciate it. I've got to thank him because that was a heck of a nice little stand, you know, that he made, you know, for really dirt cheap. You know, you get right down to it.
Yeah,
And once you've used one,
you
once
just
you
get
use one, you don't want to. Say what?
You just charge this the cost of materials.
That's right. I mean, yeah. I know when what's his name was making them and selling them. He's not doing that anymore, but they were like about $100 and then plus shipping. So, and you know, people were buying them. You know, like I say, once you use one and you use it, and you gotta, you know, you're building a model and painting a model and using it, and that you really don't want to go any other way. I don't know about you, but I've done more damage on top of my bench, moving the plane around to work on things, you know. And when you got to bolt it into that fixture, you can turn it 360 degrees this way, and all of this, and now you can tilt it up and down this way. Why, shucks, you know, saves you all kinds of damage.
So
I'm laughing because I broke two
if you've
ribs.
got different size planes, you just make a different tab to go on your motor mounts, bolted on the the frame.
Yeah. Now see, the tab he's got is made out of steel. But like with Gordon's, we just use some 1/8 or 3/16 inch ply, and we just make you just write what engine it's for, and then anytime you got something like with a OSLA 4046 or FP, you know, they all fit the same mount. You just slap that in there, slide it in, you know, it's got a slot thing,
and it could work. It work profile or built up too.
Yeah. So, you know,
I'm gonna make one, but I first got to have room to use one. You know. So.
Well, you know, I can relate to that, Eddie. And by the way, hello, Eddie. Thanks for coming in.
Hello.
Well, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of room either, but I've got a little room, you know, but I don't know
if you can see it with this camera. It's
a new toy.
GPA 40.
Let me click on you.
I don't know if this camera's picking it up good.
It was my fault. Let me get you in there. I can see the crankcase. I can't make out who makes it.
It's a Magnum GPA.
Oh, okay. Magnum. Oh, very nice.
Magnums are good engines. They're a clone of.
I got it for $40.
They're a clone of.
It for $40.
They're a clone of.
Looks like it's got an OS. Looks like it's got an OS Venturi and needle in it.
Yeah,
oh, very nice.
I got a Magnum 36 in. That's the same engine that. I tell you, this is. I ought to just turn the TV off here. This is not mine. I can't remember nothing. Randy Smith makes his Thunder. What are they? The Tiger.
The Aero Tiger.
Aero Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
He makes that out of Magnum 36. And I tell you what, you know, those are pretty decent engines. But just 36 by itself is a pretty decent engine.
Well, the one thing I did notice about the Magnum here is it's a flat piston.
Oh, that one is? Yeah, they're Schnurda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a flat piston on it.
But they run good.
But it's got great compression in it. But yeah, I got that one. I got it for $40, and then I also got 14 K&B glow plugs, 2 of them with idle bars. I got 14 of them for $40.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, $2.85 a piece.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, and let's say 9 of them were opened, and 5 of them were still in the package. But the ones that were open, the elements are still shiny on them. Looks like they had never been used, but they had a lot of residue on the outside. Looked like maybe some castor or something had spilt in a box or something and coated them. But I just took a brass brush, cleaned them up good, stuck my igniter on them and see if they all work. Every one of them works. So I got 14 more glow plugs. So
Well, that's good. I've never.
not that I'm ever going to use 14 of them, but that's what she had, so I bought them.
Yeah.
That's good.
Being that they're like $8 or $9 a piece now, so.
Yeah.
Hey, John, I wanted to correct you, John. The Aero Tiger is the Thunder Tiger engine. I know Randy does modify the Magnum 36. I don't know what he calls that, but the one he calls the Aero Tiger is the Thunder Tiger 36 Pro.
Yep.
Thank you. You're right.
And I also want to catch up on the chat box. I want to say hi to Greg Nielsen, and he says, "Evening. What is the span on the wing, and what kind of power you're going to put on that plane?" And I imagine he's talking about you, Peter. I think you were talking about the Saginaw.
Yes.
So what's the span, and what power are you going to use on that Saginaw?
Actually, let me see what is the span on this. Hold on. The wingspan is 50 inches, 50 and a half. The fuselage is 40 inches long. The original model that was built back, I believe this was built back sometime in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe, was meant for basically an old OS Glow 35.
OS Max, yes.
Yes, the OS 35S. Debating on, in my general opinion, it'll depend on how heavy it comes out. I'm trying to keep it light, so I don't think it's going to come out too heavy. But my engine of choice for that model, and the one that the mounts are drilled for, is an Aero Tiger.
One second, let me catch up.
36 Pro.
No, I'm ready for you, Peter. You can flash that mode again, please.
He's going to make you big, Peter.
Oh, nice. Beautiful example.
Yep.
How many square inches does that have, Peter?
What's that?
How many square inches in the wing?
It does not say.
Oh, I know it does.
Who drew that plan anyway?
Yeah.
It's not on the plan. I'm looking at it. The plan is right here. I'm looking at it, and it just gives you the length. Let me see if it's in the book anywhere. Parts list continued.
Not on the box?
I do not see a square inch specification anywhere. Maybe it's on the box. It's required 35 is span. Okay, 525 squares.
All right. I knew it was there somewhere.
525 square inches. So I figured an OS LA 46 is probably going to be overkill for it. So
Yeah, but it handled fine.
So basically, I'm going to put the Aero Tiger on it, and it should be more than enough, considering it was designed around an OS 35 Max, 35S.
Those Aero Tigers are very powerful. You're going to have no problem.
The Aero Tiger is probably stronger than the OS 46.
What I have is a Custom Hobbies Forerunner kit, Forerunner profile kit, and I believe that's what I'm going to put the 46 on. It's a foam wing profile.
You got to put the engine on the inboard side or on the outboard side?
I'm going to stick with the conventional on the outboard side. I may stick the tank on the inboard side, but
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
no. Okay. I had one before, and that was when we were discussing. I think it was last on Monday about how many flights you put on an airplane before you either retire it. That one I put so many flights on that, and I had one or two rough landings, but that one I had so many flights on that its final demise was I was in the middle of an overhead in the overhead 8s, and in middle of one of the intersections on an overhead 8, the wings went whoop.
Oh no!
Well, you know why you don't want to put if you got the engine on the outboard side, why you don't want the tank on the inboard side? Because your tank,
being a bitch. I mean,
because centrifugal force or centripetal force will richen your engine up for your engine run up, and so you'll have to take it off screaming rich and wait for it to get up to speed so that they.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just set up typical. It's gonna be. I'll put it on the outboard side. Just standard operation. That's the way I had That's the way I had the last one set up.
Yeah, the original one had the engine on the inboard side and the tank on the inboard side, and that would work. The engine on the outboard side and the tank on the outboard side, that works.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to do it the other way. For instance, engine on the inboard side and tank on the outboard side, what's happening? Think about it.
Fuel's all going away from your engine.
Yeah, so you got centripetal force trying to impeding your suction or getting your fuel to the engine, so the engine will lean out. So you have to set it up really, really rich.
Well, if you have a clunk, if you have a plastic clunk tank, I don't think it really makes much of a difference.
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does? Okay. Yep. That's the box. That's here.
What, Tom?
Anybody see Mike Lonke's post where he had his carpal tunnel surgery on his
Yes.
hand? Both hands.
All bandaged up.
And he
You
had
both
a
hands?
picture, yeah, both hands, and he had ace bandage wrapped around both. I said, no, Sparky said wrap it around the balsa wood, not your hands.
Very good.
Hey. Well, I was thinking myself, I wanted to try to get the Vanguard done, take to the Nats this year. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because I still got a lot of work to do on the plan before I can start cutting the wood. But I do have a couple of my own designs that I've had laser cut. They're sitting in the other room. One of them is the one you got, Ed, the JB Special.
Yeah.
I've got one of those cut, and then I've got my 2 bits, 4 bits, and 6 bits. They're all the same airplane, just different sizes of it. 25 to 40 size, 40 to 50 size, and 50 to 60 size or 70 size. I'm going to build the one in the middle. So I think that's what I'll do is I'll start building that. What you got there, Peter?
It's what is it, 7 ply? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 7 or 8 plywood. That's the front of the Forerunner. It's in the kit.
Really? What?
That's the front of the Forerunner. That's the way it comes in the kit.
That's a lot of plywood.
So yep. But you don't have to have any doublers on it.
No, it's designed not to use doublers. Basically, the front end of the fuselage is like this is a single piece of high quality plywood, and then you have balsa doublers go on either side. I suppose balsa doublers go on either side. I forget. It's been quite a while since I built it.
It looks to me like that. It's got a tank cut out there behind the engine mount.
Yep, is a kind
You
of
only put the, balsa doubler on one side. You might put it on both sides, but you cut it out on the side you're going to mount the tank into.
Yep. Actually, this would be this particular setup in the front end almost would be ideal for electric, because you got this nice opening already cut for you for the battery.
True enough, but with the battery and that weight staying there, yeah.
I do recall this is how I have the article, the construction article for it. I recall this is exactly how the original design was. Framer, Tom Framer, I guess.
Farmer.
Is exactly how he basically built the actual model. So this is not a modification on his design. This is actually the way he put it together.
Well, I know it. A lot of people flew that design for a long time. I haven't seen them being flown that much recently, but back, what was it, in the 80s, I guess, is when that came out.
You have that piece, and then you have a light ply, another light ply doubler, which probably goes on the inside, or I don't know whether it goes on the inside or the outside. But yeah, this is what is this? This looks like it's a 1/16 light ply, and that would probably back up.
Yeah,
that looks good.
The quality of this kit is excellent. Too bad you just can't get them anymore.
no, they quit making them. The guy who's making them, I don't know what happened to him, where he left the hobby or whether he really left the world.
I mean, you got
Full wings, right?
triple. It's not a triple colored wing, but it's a double. That's the next project.
Oh yeah. Well, I was looking at my Torino. I tried to figure out, because I'd like to take, when I go to the nets, I'd like to take a classic and a Pampa class machine. So I was looking at the Torino. That's a fun airplane to fly. It looks like you're flying a toothpick with it out there. It's so slender, because it being a twin boomer, it's got this big pair of rudders in the back, and then the rest of it's just really slender going up. So, and of course, mine, the fuselage is kind of black or dark blue actually, but it looks black when it's out on the end. So it looks like I got this big black toothpick out there with a prop on the front. So anyway, I was looking at that. I got a little hanger rash. I broke one of the rudders off.
Oh man!
I didn't break it at the base. I broke it across going up. So I've got to fix that and determine whether or not I can do a halfway decent job of repairing that. Don't remember what color paint the paints were that I used on it. So yeah, try to see if I can get that rudder back together with minimizing the appearance of having that crack there. Just look like a little bit of hanger rash. They're not supposed to judge you down on hanger rash, they tell me, but that's all written in fine print.
Huh.
Well, John, you just painted a different color and just put a stripe on that crack.
Hey, I could just put a stripe on both rudders, where the.
There you go.
Yeah. But I don't know if I've ever showed you guys the 2-bit and 4-bit and 6-bit planes.
I've seen the plans on. I was going through your plans on Stunt Hangar. I saw the PDF.
Oh yeah.
I saw them. Is it the? Which one was the biplane?
That's the 2-bits bipe.
The 2-bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's almost 800 square inches. That's the one that's got the Stalker 81 in it.
Wow.
And I was having trouble with that. I mean, the thing flew so smooth, and the beautiful round loops and insides and outside. And where I ran into problems with it was with square loops and triangles, anything that had a real sharp turn on it. And I come to it would like try to flip flop and install what it was doing.
Swap in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I realized, well, wait a minute. I got too long lines on there. I got like 67-foot lines on there, and I think I should try using a set of lines about maybe 62, 61 foot. Shorten it up a bit. Though the reason I like the longer lines is because you can fly it faster without increasing your lap time so fast. But anyway, so I got to play with that some more. I may need to change the sweep on the lead out. I may need to lock. I've got flap on the bottom wing and the top wing, so I might have too much flap. What's happening? Like the first turn, it does nice and sharp. Second one, nice. It's starting to slow down because of the drag from the turns.
Right.
And this one, when I point it down, it comes down. It just doesn't quite get enough to get its speed back.
Pick up again.
The bottom one, and now it's going too slow. And so it does this, It flies out of it, but it looks like crap.
Oh, yeah. So, share.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but it's like I'll dig out the mono wing version of the.
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Forerunner.
Yep. Yeah, I figured I just that's the one that had the when it finally gave up the ghost. That's the one that folded the wings and the overhead eights. But that's what it looks like. I figured, for people who don't know, get an idea of what the airplane was like. It's a nice profile. I always, if it flies really well.
Now, is that your color scheme, or is that the builder's color scheme?
No, that's mine. That was actually that was the airplane I'm talking about, my old Forerunner.
Okay.
And that was my monocoat job. I decided to do some black on gray camouflage.
Great.
It was black and gray with blue on the bottom.
That looks good. I didn't even think it was monocoat.
Oh yeah, all my planes. Any picture that I show you of any of my models, they're all monocoat. I just had horrible experiences with my first 2 or 3 dope attempts, and I said, "Nah, this is." This is way. I mean, I could probably do it better now, but my early renditions of dope were, if you've ever seen a Chinese Shar-Pei, well, mine were more wrinkled.
Hey, Cheyenne.
Gentlemen.
Evening.
So what were you working on, Mark? I saw you had some wood in your hand.
I'm working on the profile knobbler again, and actually, you're talking about covering. I'm just flipping the coin again. I need to work on my silk span. Yeah, but it's I guess with the way that it comes with the lightning holes drilled in it. Yeah, I'm assuming on control surfaces, like just a very light tautening dope. Just to tighten up over the holes, and then just go with non-tautening for the rest of it, right? Yep, perfect. Yeah.
I think those lightning holes are a bad idea.
Yeah, it was one of the kits, man. And I actually thought about, thinking, well, okay, why don't I just cut it out and actually put,
you'll be better off.
Even go solid. Sorry,
You'll be better off. You'll be better off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Even if you cut it out, just put some geodesic cross braces. Much better.
Actually, it's a good timing for that, and it actually crossed my mind. Sure, because I couldn't figure out how it's going to cover evenly with the lightning holes. Yeah.
No, it's like
you don't save that much.
So what happened is that I built a glider, right?
Yes.
And I try to do like build up construction and lightning holes and stuff like that. And what those those surfaces that have lightning holes in them, they love to warp, and they have very little torsional rigidity after that. So they like to flutter on top of it. So
Okay,
I try
that
to
makes
stay
sense.
away from it. Yeah.
I can cut that out.
Yeah. And the added complexity for very little benefit in weight is almost not worth it.
Right.
If you use some light wood, you can get away with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is
And that was a glider that it fluttered, and was the glider doped in tissue, or what was it?
It was actually the doculam, which is very stiff, and it still worked.
Yeah. They did all the control surfaces like that too.
Ugh.
Yeah.
On the rudder, I don't care, But the flying surfaces, like the elevator, especially on the elevator part, not the horizontal stabilizers. I'm talking the elevator. It's going to warp so bad.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I got the 4 bits ready to go if you want to see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Only if it's 5 bits. Oh, I like it. It's pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
And you've built that one, correct?
Thank you. No, I haven't. I've got the kit ready to build, but I haven't built it yet. I built the fuselage is basically identical, except for the mounting for the wing to the 2 bits biplane.
Huh.
And the wing is a thicker version or more chord than the biplane wing. The biplane's more high aspect ratio. Okay.
Yeah,
that is a pretty airplane.
That is very nice. I like their side scoops and.
Thank you. I like them too. They're blank. If I was to do it electric, I could open this up and bring the air back into here to cool the battery and all that stuff.
I was fixing to say.
So they would be functional.
But this is like a typical IC plane, for sure. But now if you have the heavier.
This is.
Man, I'll push the tail backwards.
What's that, Trent?
I'll push the tail backwards another inch and a half easy.
It does look a little short there, doesn't it?
It does,
I forget exactly how.
I
forget exactly how far back it is.
It really is basically. It's probably not short. It just looks like it is.
It's 17. I think 17 inches from here from edge to edge, but it does look short.
Yeah,
I'm showing it.
Revolutions is so user friendly, so easy to fly with a longer tail. I mean, it's just a huge benefit.
What's your aspect ratio on your stabbing elevator?
It's the same as an SV11.
Oh, okay. So it's probably.
Actually, it's exactly the same.
Okay. This is a little higher aspect ratio than I think I want. I think I'm actually might change that to make it
not gonna hurt anything.
A little. Yeah, no, it won't hurt anything. For a time there, I kind of like the looks of a high aspect ratio tail, but they say that the lower aspect ratio seems to work better. Which if I did that, then I could play with this. I could.
Yeah, in a way, it's going to work
I
better.
could make this wider, which would. Yeah, and I could get the hinge line here to move back, even keeping the this at the same place, because it would be considerably wider at the root, and I've been thinking about this about making that a shorter aspect ratio for about 6 months. So I appreciate the comment. Now I got the wing.
push the tail backwards. Move the tail back.
Yeah, I know you think a moment, but yeah, I can push the tail back, but I wanted to go with a wider root and tip. Like this might be a aspect ratio, say maybe 5.5, 6:1, and take that down to like 4.5, kind of like the Trivial Pursuit or the Fitzgerald's Sky Gazer. They've got relatively low aspect ratios and elevators on them.
Yeah.
But if I did that, then this would be wider here. So I could actually get without,
So let me ask you a question. Why are you worried about the aspect ratio, and what do you think you're going to gain from it, from a higher aspect ratio compared to a lower one?
I would say the high aspect ratio, of course, is high aspect ratio tends to have more efficiency. I don't remember all of what Fitzgerald and Fancher and those wrote about it on Fitzgerald's article on tails, but they came up with the feeling after a lot of testing that the lower aspect ratio tails were superior to the higher aspect ratio. And I'll be honest with you, I'd have to go reread the article now to find out exactly what it was, but I think it has to do with stability and you've got the same area. Say you're running 26% stab and elevator to the wing ratio. So you got the same amount of area there. That's not the issue, but the issue has to do with strength and twisting and things like that, I think. But I'd have to go read the article again.
What's the wingspan on that one?
I think the keyword was twisting. A high aspect ratio is much harder to make rigid torsionally than a low aspect ratio. And if you have a more rigid surface, then your control is going to get there and it's going to move the plane. If it twists and warps in the air, it's only you're asking for problems. That's the way I would look at it.
Right. Well, that's probably the reason.
I have an observation.
And you had a
just an interesting observation. Has nothing to do with aspect ratios. I'm looking at this model, and a lot of times some of the models that we put together. And can you imagine this is a full-size, full-scale airplane? What kind of a nightmare the pilot has, because the wing is out in front of him, the nose is so far in front of the pilot that it looks like it goes out there forever. God, good grief! On ground handling, the guy has absolutely no clue where that airplane would be going on the ground.
He's going to be making left and right turns like this just to be able to see where he's going.
75.
Be like watching a bunch of
75% of the aircraft, the tailwheel aircraft, especially the warbirds, during the early era of say 50s, 60s, was exactly that way. Yeah.
Yeah, the Corsair was that way.
Look at that.
Sorry.
The Corsair, the P-47.
Yeah.
The P-47 was, I remember seeing films of them taxiing down the taxiway to get to the runway to take off, and they were it's like a big centipede. They were going back and forth and back and forth. And of course the Corsair set there. You're sitting back quite a ways back on toward the aft end of that wing.
Yeah,
then you got that big wing down there in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Peter. This would not be the optimal design for a pilot. This is more like the design though they had in the old racing series, where they set them back, and they did that so they could stuff a big engine up there in front.
Oh no, I absolutely.
They didn't have the engine, the wing.
I'm just imagining myself sitting.
Yeah, you're right.
Trying to maneuver this thing on the ground.
Even the steermans, for that matter, when you're by yourself flying in the back seat, I would look in between the cylinders, because it doesn't have a cowling actually. So you can kind of look in between the cylinders until you get the tail up and get flying.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Hey, Eddie, you trying to say something, Eddie?
Speaking about radio,
I think he's muted.
He's muted. He's got his mic muted.
Okay.
where's Eddie? You got turn your mic on, mute.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
I'm talking to my son, so.
Okay.
Oh,
No problem. Hey, you guys, let me interrupt for a second.
Eddie, well, I got you.
We have a comment on the thread, on the chat box. Greg Nielsen says, I think he's referring to your plane, John. He's saying, could it be the incident in the top wing is too much and stalling at the slower speed causing the wobble? Maybe check and drop the incidence in the top wing is a degree or two.
That's a good idea, and it's well worth a try. I can make that kind of adjustment. I believe at this point I've got it set up at 0, 0, 0, 0, one top wing to bottom wing. So everything's at 0, 0. I got about 1.5 to 2 degrees down thrust on the prop, and about 0.5 degree of positive on the stab. And like I say, it flies beautifully. It does nice round loops, nice round outsides. It's on the 4-leaf clover, and it's like the first 2 turns does really nice, very sweet, very good and crisp. But it's slowing down on each turn because of the all the extra drag you get. And by the time it gets to that 3rd turn, it's slowed down, but it's going downhill. So it makes the turn, but it can't speed up enough in the downwind leg to come out good on that coffin corner.
That's one of the reasons for which I like the theory of thinner airfoils with more efficient planes, and just lower the pitch if it's too fast.
And I'm sorry.
In actuality, that was one of the.
Let me interrupt again because I didn't finish.
That was one of the things I did. Oh.
So I have Mike Lonke. He actually is saying, watching you on YouTube, and yes, Charles, I will like and thumbs up. We'll join soon. And so now we're caught up. We have 19 viewers, and we have 13 likes, and one of them was Mike Lonke. Thank you very much. And we still need some more thumbs up. So please, out there, your listeners and watchers, please give us a thumbs up. Consider joining our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share and subscribe as well. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Just hit the subscription and hit the bell and make sure you get all notifications, so that not only when I come online, but when Sparky, he's building a new plane right now. Last time I was watching him, he was working on the wing. The wings are already together, already framed up. This is a new build, by the way. I mean, he finished the other one, and he's starting a new plane, and he's already got the wing completed. I think the fuselage side, he's off to a roaring start. It's unbelievable. So anyways, you guys carry on.
Okay.
So
Trey and I appreciate it. You and I are both thinking along the same lines about slightly thinner airfoils, especially with electric. What I did with the biplane is I went with the premise that one of the reasons I believe, one of the reasons I believe in aerobatics is because people put too thick of wings. You got one above the other. And so if you got a 2-inch thick wing, you got 2 of them, you got 4 inches of wing, which would, in thickness for drag. And so what I did on the 2-bits biap, I think I've got like 12 or 13% on the airfoil at the root, and like 9% at the tip. But I've got the 2 of them. Well, of course, that's just say 12% at the root is 24% total at the root. Okay, but they're also, because it's a biplane. I've got high aspect ratio each individual wing, but when you combine the 2, leading edges mounting to the trailing edge of the lower one, I'm still within the a decent aspect ratio, even though each individual wing, the aspect ratio is up over 6:1. So I agree that here though this is designed for IC, and that thing is I think at 18%.
Yeah.
Is on this one.
Yeah.
So 18% for an IC.
Yeah. So, you know what? Even for IC, you can still thin out the airfoils because it's not gonna, use a lower pitch prop. If it's cleaner, then you can use a lower pitch for the same speed. So might be a
Here though
situation.
The plane's designed around a Stalker engine. That's what I fly.
Yeah.
And so for IC,
Mhm.
and that is that is a higher pitch. You want a 6-inch pitch prop on there for a Stalker.
Okay, listen. If you have less drag and you need lower pitch to maintain speed on the same RPM, you don't have to change the motor run, because as the engine, the wings get thinner and thinner, the plane is going to penetrate much easier through the air, right? So it wants to speed up automatically. So on the same motor run, just lower the pitch. That's all. But for me, even if I was
worthwhile thinking that.
If I was to build another IC plane, I would just still follow the same philosophy I have in my electric. I would not change it because it's so good.
Well, yeah, we're not dealing with airplane design like when we were all flying Super Tiger 60s, where you had this huge honking motor up there, and you have to hold them back with some drag. See, that's an Epler.
Yeah.
Airfoil. I think it's 189 Epler 180. I think I'd have to look at my notes, but if you notice see the size of the radius on the leading edge, it's designed for penetration.
Okay.
So anyway, let me bring up the wing here. And I'll bring up and let's see. All right.
Look out.
You see the wing?
Yep. Nice shape.
So there you can see the higher aspect ratio that I'm thinking about doing away with and going to a lower aspect ratio, same area, but
lightning holes in
anyway.
Stay away from them. Stay away from them. Those lightning holes in the flaps.
They're not. I agree with you. They're not going to be there. That's not. I put them in there. You notice I put them in the dashed lines. The idea being, and I got to think about this. So that's yeah. But that's a nice airfoil though when you look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know you'd be happy if I made that about a 14-15% airfoil. Now, there's one thing I thought about and I hadn't mentioned that. I thought about on the biplane, and that is to get completely away from IC and go strictly electric with it, because then I've got better
RPM.
control of my power, my RPM, and all of that, and I don't, the engine doesn't have to try to catch up after being yanked around 2 or 3 corners. That it's drug it down some, and also the prop helps slow it down on the down lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I've thought about that, and I may do that instead of putting the Stalker 81 back into it. It flew fine on a 60, but I ran into this problem on that third corner of the square. And so I started going up engine size, trying to see if I could power my way through it. And that wasn't happening. So it's still a work in progress. But the wing shape is roughly this same shape, only it's about as, you take where the spar is right there. That's about where the leading edge is on a biplane. And it's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks very vectorish.
So anyway.
I have a question, more so regarding the holes in the flaps or control surfaces. I mean, if it's a C-grain wood, it's not going to twist that much. And plus, putting dope and tissue and several coats of dope and tissue, I can't imagine it not being stiff. And then because the lightning holes, it'd be light as well. And I'm trying to understand what you have against these lightning holes, you guys. I don't understand.
For me, my thought was aerodynamic issues. I mean, yeah, it's just because it's not there's nothing in line basically. There's not ribs and this is just my thoughts. Before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is when it. Go ahead.
You're not gaining as much as you think with the extra effort.
No, so I think you're gaining a lot of issues.
That's true. Now, if it had ribs like on the elevator there in place, that would be better than having these holes that are just covered over with.
That was my thought. And actually, I mean,
with
for me, it'd be kind of fun. I mean, next week I'll get my knee surgery, so I'm going to get laid up for quite a while. So I think for me it'll help me with my building skills. I cut those out and put some ribs in there.
Actually, John, I would think just leave him in this case solid, because that shape, to do a built up in that shape would be a rather challenging.
Because
the way the shape.
Well, if nothing, my dear friend, I am challenged.
No. I'm saying, to do those flaps built up would add quite a bit of complexity to whoever wanted to undertake that, because that is a beautiful shape, but it would be quite a challenge for the less experienced to pull that off on a built up. I would leave them solid. That's just me, though.
Well, I think leaving them solid, some good C-grain balsa there, leaving them solid, or even making up a balsa plywood, or using some carbon fiber, or actually you want it on a diagonal, I would think, laminated within or just under the skin. Anyway, you want them strong, and you don't want them to be able to twist. And taking this material out of there, now you just have these sections here that are holding anything lengthwise, for strength, for twist. So that's why I would back away from it. Is I think they would be less twist resistant with this cutout than they would be.
I was just looking at it from a construction standpoint. Like I said, it's a beautiful wing, and lightning holes. Those oval lightning holes. It's an option, but try to do for someone who's not. They would have to be a fairly expert builder to realize those flaps, especially at the span of them at the tips, and that arc and that curve. To do that on a built up, like I said, it would be even a challenge for you to draw that up, as well as constructing it.
I would
the idea
when you're done, John. When you're done sharing this, I'm gonna share with you guys how I used to make flaps on my planes. It was relatively simple and it's very nice. You get a nice product quickly without much pain. So
I'll I've just got one or two comments, and then I'll turn it over to you, Tran. The idea with the outline of the wing is to try to get it more in line with elliptical. And you can have the elliptical with the point here at the midpoint. You can have it up towards the front, and you can have it back towards the back. And that's what I've done here. Now, for to be more elliptical would be this would come in, way back here to start that curve. But
I'm looking at your wing.
It's not a true elliptical.
So John, you can elliptical is for elliptical lift distribution. Much less lift on a tip, more on a root, right? So you can do it two ways. You can have the same airfoil and have an elliptical shape, or you can have a wing like yours, but you have to thin out the tips. Okay. So if you are 16% on a root,
they are.
Yeah. If you are 16% on a root, on a tip should be like 13, 14, much thinner, right? Overall.
Yep.
That includes the flaps and stuff like that. So if you have that, you should be fine. Okay. So that's another way. That's the easy way, right? Because it's a lot easier to make a straight wing versus an elliptical wing, unless you mold it, in which case everything flips over. It's easier to make an elliptical wing than that. So that's
As you go thinner, and this is kind of a newbie question, but I mean, as you would go thinner on the airfoil, would you not have to change your spar construction that you beef up your spar a little more, or like I say, just kind of a newbie question? But
I think they're strong enough for what you need, even with the classical construction.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
But now, if you want to reinforce it, go ahead, John.
On true elliptical, looking at it from the front or the back, you'll find that from the center of the wing, that the root, the spars are actually elliptical. They taper on a curve towards the tips. That's a true elliptical. But on this, it's kind of like Bob Palmer's Thunderbird and Southwick, Skylark, and that. They were often called elliptical type planforms, but they weren't true ellipticals. They were more like this. They were actually a double tapered wing has an attempt at elliptical elliptical performance out of a straight type of a wing.
Yeah, that's why you thin out the tips.
So anyway, right. Well, I'm going to shut this one down there, Tran, and you go ahead and show us how you do your flaps.
Okay. So the idea is relatively simple. What I did here, this is the kind of a mold I make, right? So you take 2 blocks of whatever, it can be wood, whatever you want to have, right? Okay. So this is a cross section. So what you do, you make the blocks of wood, and maybe say you start with this, right? And your flaps looks something like that, right? Say this is your flaps. Flaps is right here, right?
Okay.
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 All right. So on this area over here, you just measure your drop, like from here to here, whatever it is, and you just give it a nice slope on it, right? And then after you make the buck, this is gonna be like a buck. You can make it out of foam, out of whatever you want to do. But something the harder, the better, right? And then what I did, I just put a piece of plywood, a 1/8 inch plywood in here to connect the two of them, then hold them parallel. So what I've done after that, I put some wax paper. You just fold the wax paper and shove it in here like that. Wax paper like that, right?
All right.
And you cut your balsa shape for the flaps, the top and the bottom, whatever size you want to have. And even though you're stuck with a mold with a certain shape, you can still fudge it a little bit, up to even 1/4 of an inch, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, whatever, you know. So then what I did is just I introduced my my balsa pieces like this. So you put your two sheets of balsa on top of each other. You don't have to glue them. You just put them in there, just stuck them in there. And then the 1/8 inch kind of coincides with the thickness of the balsa, right? So what you do after that, the balsa goes like this, and you have to, you spread them up like this, right?
All right.
And all you do is just, you go on a mold, you measure, like, say you put ribs, whatever you want to put them. You just measure this from here to here, whatever it is, and just make a triangle. Simple triangle. And just you shove it like this in the front. Like
That's
that.
clever. That's clever, Trey.
And what's gonna do as you put a triangle inside, it's gonna go shick. It's gonna open up. And now you're gonna have some space in the front because the triangle is gonna stop here. You're gonna still have like a 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch hanging out, the two ends. And you get a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch balsa stick after that, and you squeeze them over, boom, boom, boom. You glue them. You can throw glue on the bottom because, let me get a new page. So
Run out of that page.
I have to draw it so you guys can see it, right? So, so let me see. It's easier to draw like this. So after you put your triangles inside the mold, it's going to look something like this. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, on the other side, it's going to be a mold. And after that, what you do, you put your, say, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch balsa stick in there. And it's kind of going to look like this after that.
So is this how you made the flaps for the Evolution Twain?
No, it's for different planes I had before. So then what I did, I just put here the balsa stick on a leading edge. Like that, right? So you have quite a bit of leeway over here, right? So you can fudge, put more tape or less tape on the flaps, as well as here, right? And what I did after all this stuff, I just used the surface here. See this surface? And I put my sanding block right flat on top of it. And actually, I sharpen up this guy. Like that. Simple.
Okay. Yeah.
And so basically, all you have just two pieces of balsa wood, put them inside the mold, and you spread them apart like this. With the triangles, you can put them geodesic, whichever way you want to put them. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
And after you put them inside, you can hold it vertical and get some thin CA and just let it drip on the trailing edge, so you can glue the base up, right? And you also glue on the triangular pieces, right? And then you put a balsa wood in between them and just squeeze the leading edge. Done deal. And because of that, it's like it's all hollowed. It's a triangular. It's very stiff. It's lightweight too. And what did I use? I think I used a 1/8 inch. Yeah, basically I went with a. It's gonna end up 1/4 inch by 1. Yeah, it's about 3/8 here. 3/8. And over here it's about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, on the trailing edge. Sidewise, right? It's
So
simple.
16th, 2 pieces 16th then?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and light.
Yeah, exactly. And so you make one mold for one flaps. You have one mold for an elevator, and from that point on, you can make whatever you want to do. Because on a leading edge, you can also you cut your shape, and if the leading edge is sticking out a little bit more, who cares?
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine, and it's all straight. It's symmetric. You don't build a pretzel or anything like that. It's simple. It's just simple, and it's just. Let me think about it. Yeah, it's about 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty clever, Trent.
Yeah, so So when you make this mold here, actually you're looking at.
You're making that mold to full length, though, right?
Yeah.
You
So
cut that on a table saw.
Yeah, whatever. So that's about 1/8 of an inch right there. Okay. The drop, right?
Right.
So if you make your mold, you draw a line 1/8 of an inch like this, then you draw another line on the trailing edge, get a file and shape it up until you touch both lines. Smooth it out with some sanding paper. And after that, when you glue the two together, put a 1/8 inch piece of plywood in between them. So it's going to be nice and flat, and that's it. And from that point, you can make as many flaps, different shapes. You can probably even get away with your geodesic flap shape, even though it's originally made like a straight taper.
Yeah.
Because you have lots of leeway to play on one side and on the other side as well.
I like it.
So,
I got to go use the bathroom. I'll be back.
All right.
And if you're really fanatic, I mean, because it's a triangular shape, it's much stiffer from torsional point of view, and it's as light, if not lighter, than a 3/8 piece of balsa or 1/4 inch piece of balsa. Yeah, I think it should be. It should be lighter than that. I had light flaps and they were very stiff too. If you want them stiffer than that, what you do, here's a cool trick. If you really want to have it stiff, right? Here on the leading edge, when you do that, might want to use like a, say a piece of balsa like this.
Hold it up a little higher. There we go.
Say a 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch, right?
Okay.
And you get some of that solar composite cells bi-directional sleeves, carbon fiber sleeves, right? So what they look like a sock, right?
Right.
Just like socks, right? And what you do, you put the stick inside of this sock, right? And you pull on the two ends, and the sock is going to be collapsing against the stick.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And if you really want to make it light, you could probably just make some. If you have some lamination epoxy, it would be beautiful. But if you don't have, and most of you don't, you can use some epoxy and just thin it out. Okay. And put it on a carbon fiber, and then put paper towels on top of it and blot it out to dry it. Suck out as much epoxy out of it. And then you insert your stick inside, you tie up one end and the other end, and just pull the sock tight because it's going to collapse against the stick, right? So now you have like now you're going to have a torsion tube inside of it, in addition to the triangular shape. So that thing is not going to twist ever in flight. So the idea is that you use this section here, and then you put a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch in front of it. So this is going to be covered with the carbon all around it, okay? And this stick in front of it is just used to cut your triangular shape, right? And put hinges and whatever in it.
All right.
Yeah, but that's on the leading edge. Or put a tube, a carbon fiber tube. It's I think was it 6 millimeters? I think it's a 6 millimeter with 5 millimeter ID. It's a carbon fiber tube. Shove it in there on the back side. Put a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch in front of it. Nobody's gonna see it. It's gonna be buried in there, but that's gonna take a lot of torsion. It's gonna be very strong, very stiff. And they don't weigh much. I mean, it's like you get a 36-inch stick that weighs just very little.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is the idea. This is what I used to do for, when I was making built-up fuselage. I mean, built-up balsa planes. I always use this, and it's just like I had two molds. I have one for the elevator, and another one for the flaps. And when I want to make an outboard flaps, I just cut it a little bit more, 1/8 of an inch longer. Not a problem. Okay. and it's very simple.
Good.
Okay, that's it.
And hey, Steve.
Hey,
Thanks for coming in.
damn, John, you found your scissors.
You noticed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Len.
shoot. That's probably Bill cut that and you wouldn't have noticed.
Hey, Len has a good connection today.
Len does?
What happened to you?
Hey,
We can see you. You're not freezing.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, John, you want to say something earlier?
are
You
you
know
sure
what's
that's
kinda
a
funny,
good
Len?
thing, Tryon, that he's not freezing?
Yeah, he's not. His picture is not freezing, and when it freezes in some kind of like.
His mic is muted. That's what it is.
Yeah, Lynn, your mic is muted.
There we go.
There we
you
go.
hear me?
Oh,
we hear you
now
now.
we can hear you and see you.
All right. Oh, that's perfect. Sucks to be you, Steve. Oh man.
Ed,
So
you
what's
have
new, gents?
Not too much.
What's that?
Not
Okay.
too much.
Nothing. We want to see what you've
Okay.
done on your 51.
Who, me?
Yeah, Lynn. Yeah. Your profile.
Okay, hang on. I'll go get one of the parts.
All
Hey,
right.
hey, Len, we sent some snow your way from Michigan. Did you get it? No, I didn't hear you. Man,
As
we got
long
hammered
as you
here.
don't send it here, I'll be fine.
We're in pretty good shape. Trying.
We got 6 inches of new snow in Minnesota.
Yeah, we got over 6 last night, and it started again tonight. There's probably close to 3 out there now, but they said a foot of snow within like 24 hours, and it's going to be close.
I have a bobcat to clean my driveway out, and I got the bobcat stuck.
Ours is all used. Ours is all used snow. It's just wet.
Mm-hmm.
I even tried the trick of using the bucket to push myself out, and still couldn't get out. My neighbor had to bring his tractor over and pull me out.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said I'm gonna sneak out and go fly over the weekend, but I'm looking at this, and tomorrow is gonna rain all day long, and Sunday. Hang on, Sunday. Where the heck is Sunday? Oh, Sunday. Oh no, wait a second. Tomorrow is gonna rain all day long, starting at 2 p.m. and it's gonna stop on Sunday at 7 a.m. So
God,
the
I'm
field is
glad I
gonna
live
be
in California.
soaked. So the field is gonna be freaking soaked. Even though it's flyable, I mean 39, 40 degrees, 50 degrees towards the evening, which is nice, you know. But
We're at 17 below zero.
You're not
Hey,
flying.
you got some pads on there, huh, Len?
What's that?
You got some engine pads on it, I see.
You betcha.
He's even got a tail wheel.
That's for a 60, not a 51.
Hey, Eddie.
I'm gonna run an Evo 60.
Wow.
Eddie,
Yeah.
Now,
You
what's
asked
the
a
design
question.
of this, Lynn? I thought you was working on a Spitfire. Spitfire done?
No, it's not done. I've gone to another airplane as well now. I will finish them both at the same time after I finish this one.
Oh, it sounds like you have a illness.
Yeah, it's that same one that. It's the same one that Phil Bailey has. I build airplanes. I don't finish airplanes.
Yes.
Hey, did Mike,
Him and I.
Okay, Eddie, real quick.
Yeah.
You wanted to know what the span on that plane was?
Yeah. The
57.7 inches, and its area is 566 square inches.
so it's about like the JB special.
No, it's
The JB's.
yeah, it's about like it's close.
The
Yeah,
JB's 50. Yeah, the JB special is 57 3/4, but it's 600 and something squares.
yeah, it's a bit bit. I think it has a little bit more cord to the wing.
Yeah.
Is it like a 40-46 size plane?
It's a 46 to 60. You know,
Okay.
somewhere in that area. Yeah.
Hey, did Mike Lonke get on tonight?
No, he can't work the buttons.
He said he will later, you guys. Hey, you guys, Tryon, I have something for you here on the chat box. James Smith says, nice idea for flaps, Tryon. Sorry, can't stay on or join in, leaving for flying at 6 a.m. Where do you get the unidirectional carbon sheets, and what weight or thickness do you use?
Oh man, I think I said it like 100 times. It's Easy Composites, and they sell unidirectional. You know, is that on YouTube?
Easy Composites.
Yeah. Look at Steve. Steve got his, yeah. So it's 100 grams per square meter weight. It's about 12 pounds, English pounds for the material, which is very inexpensive, and it's good quality, nice binder and stuff like that. It's all good.
Yeah, I got 2 yards and it cost me 80 some bucks.
It's gonna last you forever.
By the time you pay VAT tax and then you got to ship it.
No VAT. You shouldn't have paid VAT. That's for European. For EU stuff. You're not in Europe.
Charge it for it anyway.
You got suckered, man.
But yeah, it was like $87 for 2 yards.
Yeah.
Or 2 meters.
That was your London package you kept waiting for?
Yeah, I finally got the thing printed off and sent them the stuff they needed for the government. And
yeah.
Hey,
Tell
Jeff.
them,
Yo.
I got the stand yesterday. Looks
Okay.
good. You did a good job, but there wasn't an invoice in there.
No invoice? That means you don't have to pay for it then, I guess.
I'll swap you out some work on some plans.
Did you know what though? As soon as I got back from the post office, I wrote you the mail to let you know I sent it.
Uh-huh.
I went back out in my shop and I found the 1/2-inch angle and the extra motor plate.
Ah! Oh, well.
That happened. That happened to me too. Hey,
Well,
Jeff.
I just wanted to let you know I thought you did a good job, and it's going to be fine. I got this in the mail too the same day. See that? You know what that is?
paper?
A roll of paper.
Doctor paper.
Tissue?
Oh,
Doctor paper.
you saw what I draw my plans on,
Doctor
didn't you?
paper.
This is that tidy stuff. I tell you what, I know it's not silk span, but boy, it sure looks like it. You know.
I thought you were making fun of what I drew my plans on.
No, I thought it was pretty innovative. Steal somebody's plans off a job and use the backside. What the heck? They were going to throw them away.
Yeah,
You know?
they don't use the backside. It's clean paper.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
I got.
If it looks like
12 rolls.
Well, if it looks like wow.
Go ahead.
If it looks like silk span, feels like silk span, and works like silk span, it might be silk span.
It might be. I got 12 rolls of this, 125-foot long rolls for like $27.
I can give you a couple of shots of cover.
Where did you get it from, John?
I got it from Amazon.
And you
That's
did
awesome.
Amazon Prime. I got Amazon Prime, so I don't pay shipping on it. You know.
So how did you find it? I mean, what did you type in? I mean,
No, I typed in tidy exam paper. Yeah, TIDI.
Okay, tidy exam paper. Huh?
Yeah, that should get you there.
Hey,
awesome.
Hey, do a test on it, John. I want to see how yours works because I got some, and the edges curl.
Do they?
And it soaks dope like crazy.
Now, did you put yours on wet or dry?
I put it on wet.
And it still curled.
Yeah, and I cut the curl off, and it'll still curl.
Really?
Yeah, I had a hell of a time. Then I put a patch on. Then I had a round curl. It was
Look like a Pringles chip.
I finally got it. I stuck it down with CA, but I got it down and doped up, and
you know what might be a good way of putting it?
It actually has a crack in it now.
It quacked?
It cracked.
Oh, I thought you said tell me it's duct paper.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there's a particular number you want to get, or else you get the wrong paper. It's not any doctor's paper. It has to be a certain one. I don't have the number handy, but there's a certain one they recommend you get off Amazon. Certain part number.
Okay.
I may have got the wrong stuff too, in which case I'll have lots of paper. But I was thinking about this, of getting...
Guess you'll be drawing a lot of plans.
Yeah. Getting that heat-activated glue, you know, that I've used it for coverall, stuff like that, coverite. Put that on the frame, iron it on dry, and then do the old sprinkle with the water and let it shrink that way in place.
Yeah, that might work.
Okay.
So I'll try that too.
Yeah.
But it looks like, you know, it looks like medium weight silk span.
Well, that's what I thought too on the stuff that I got. I'm like, wow, this really looks good, but I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong kind. You know,
maybe.
I might have got the wrong kind too.
You got a whole bunch of it.
Yeah,
I may have got DO Dr. Paper instead of MD Dr. Paper. Who the hell?
I might have gotten chiropractor paper.
Yeah. I probably got the proctologist paper. It's a little thicker.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Now, the trouble is and we don't need to know the answer to this, but you might enjoy that one too much.
Hey, this is family friendly business here, folks.
Yeah,
Let's keep it.
In fact, talking about that, James Smith, he says it's freezing here, getting to 74 degrees, and then he goes on to say 100-pound English or what? Metric? I think this is referring to the unidirectional what you paid, Steve, I think.
4 stones.
The 80 bucks?
87
dollars. It wasn't 87 pounds. It was.
No, it wasn't pounds. It was dollars.
Okay. And then Greg Nielsen, he says, good tip on the flaps. And I imagine that's directed towards you, Tryon.
That's no problem. I put some links over there for the carbon fibers.
Oh, cool.
All right. All right.
Well, getting back to the 4 bits, that's probably what I'll start building here this next week, so I can have it maybe done in time to get some practice before I go to the Nats with it. Because I don't see where I'll get the Vanguard, even. You know, I don't see where I could get it built and trimmed out and all that before I'd have to leave. I just can't see it.
You coming to the Nats, John?
I'm planning on it if all goes well. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
When's everybody going to be
I'm
there?
gonna fly the Revolution.
I'm not going to be able to be there. The last Saturday, I've got a prior engagement that week, but I'd like to take a couple of days off and come up there maybe Monday and Tuesday. Is that a good time to be up there, or is that when
everybody's practicing Monday and Tuesday?
If you can, get there.
I'm not going to compete. I just want to meet you guys.
Oh,
talk to you face to face.
You know what?
Monday and Tuesday's good. Get there Sunday, and you have 3 days of messing around.
If you come, listen. If you come Saturday, they have beginner, intermediate. They have classic all over the weekend. Then Monday and Tuesday there's some practice, some flying, and but the competition actually starts Tuesday. It's appearance points, but Wednesday usually it's when it starts.
Well, they're doing appearance points on Tuesday.
I don't know.
Depends on
how it's organized.
Well, we'll be
depends on
glad.
what kind of money I can get for some hotels. You know, see how much I got. You know.
We'll be glad to see you there if you can make it, Eddie.
Where do you live, Eddie?
What's that?
Where do you live?
Just north of Nashville.
Little town that's known for picking and grinning and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, you
I
live in
live
Nashville.
about 20 miles north of Nashville.
Oh, okay. So you live close to Mike.
Well, yeah, kind of, sort of.
Heck, we are within what, 5 hours of Muncie?
Something like that, yeah.
Hey, Charles, if you didn't bring enough for the whole class, you can't have it.
I've been listening on this now for an hour and 45 minutes, so there's very little left.
I still got
some of your M&Ms.
I still got some of these left.
Fax them to me.
Charles, you coming?
To the Nats?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm coming this year. When I go there next time, I want to have a plane built, and I want to have a chance to win.
Uh-huh. Well, get a plane, from some. Do like what you did with Sparky before.
Yeah, I mean, I like to. I really want to compete. So.
Uh-huh.
Man, no one even asked if I'm coming.
And I've worked it out, and
we don't want you there.
I missed that.
I'm bad.
That's okay.
Poor Steve. Nobody cares.
What did he say?
No, Steve. Come on, man.
Come on, bring it. Come on, bring it.
What? I didn't hear it.
Everybody
was talking over everybody.
Oh.
I didn't hear it either.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing. Everybody was talking over everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you lose.
Anyways, when I go there again, I bring my own plane, a plane that I have trimmed out and flown, and very comfortable to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
You get precious balsa on that paint stand and get it finished up.
Exactly. That's probably what it is. It's going to be precious balsa.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Nice hands.
Hey.
Oh,
Mummy.
Yes, and
He's practicing skating now.
Yeah, I gotta run out for a minute, but I want to jump in real quick. Tryon, you just gave some bogus information. Nothing starts on Saturday at the Nats. It's Sunday. And I think Eddie
Something like that.
asked you. The schedule is Sunday is beginner and intermediate. Eddie, is Eddie still here?
Okay.
He's still here.
Yeah.
Sunday is beginner and intermediate. Monday is appearance judging and processing. And I believe classic and old time are like Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's nothing on Saturday. You don't want to get there on Saturday because there's there's flying, but there's no events.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry, man. I'm just going off of old memories.
Yeah, the unofficial event, beginner and intermediate, start on Sunday, and then Monday is processing and appearance judging and practice. And I actually think old time and classic are on Tuesday. It's on the schedule.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday is official flights for advanced and open. But if you do come, combat events will start on Monday and run all week long.
So how was your hand? How was your right hand, Mike?
They're good. I gotta run for a second. I'll be back and we can talk about that.
All right.
I appreciate your concern though, but I'll be back in a minute. Okay.
All right.
All right, cool.
Correction, Mike.
All right, Mike.
You don't want Eddie showing up on the wrong day and not seeing what he wants to go there for. I guess you need to look at the official schedule so you make sure you're there on the right day to see what you want to see. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sure.
Well, like I said, basically all I want to do is just meet and greet.
I understand. I totally get that. I met some people. I met Richard Oliver at the Nats when I was there, and the twins. What are those two twins? Chris, what's it, those two twins? Bugatti, I think they're called.
Fook you and Fook me?
The two brothers that are twins, you know what I'm talking about, Steve?
I have no idea who twins are.
Yeah, there are some
Oh,
twins that I
right.
met.
I was thinking of the Delaney twins from Star Trek.
No.
The Wrigley twins?
Anyways, I met other people, but I forgot who I met.
No.
But I did meet some people. I mean, I met Mike Lonke and Steve, who's here, and I met Tryon in person there at the Nats. And but there are other people I met. And what was also interesting was that some people knew who I was from this show. When I tried to introduce myself to them, they said, "I know who you are. You know, I see you on the Stunt Hangar Video Hangout." This is before I was hosting the show. They knew me. So
Hey, Peter.
It was just the opposite for me. I saw Sparky in Paducah. It was probably around 2010, 2011. Mike and the guys we all flew with together went up to Paducah, and Sparky was there, and he had that the Thunderbolt, beautiful plane. My God, that thing was gorgeous. But I saw him and didn't know who he was, didn't have no clue who he was. But then when I joined Stunt Hangar, I'm like, hey, I know I've seen him before.
Right. Yeah,
I got a question for Peter.
Go ahead, Peter.
Shoot.
Go ahead, Steve. I mean,
He's got his mic turned off.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Peter, do you have a carbon fiber pipe with a pressure tap in it?
No, I do not. I don't have.
thanks, Steve.
Actually, where my pressure taps are for a pipe setup is actually in the header.
In the header, okay.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Where? Give me an example.
I got a carbon fiber pipe someplace with a tap in it.
See where the pressure tap is?
Let me make you big, Peter. Just a second. Oh, right there on the that mating surface. Yeah.
Right there.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
It's really the easiest place to put one. You drill a hole if you got a tap. You tap
Yeah, sure. You get the solid meat there.
You don't get any pressure surges with that on there like that?
Not really. Not that you would notice.
Well, it gives me an idea, Peter, because Steve and I had a conversation earlier this week because Steve had mentioned probably a year ago about a tubing that he recommended to attach the to the tube pipe that wouldn't be flailing around like silicone tubing would. And I asked him about
there's a lot of meat right there. You can easily place a pressure tap there. Carbon fiber that would be kind of like a tricky proposition because, you know, unless you turn around and be able to build it up in that particular area. And then of course it depends on where you put your pressure in a tune pipe. It depends on where you put your pressure tap. Do you put it behind the baffle, the first baffle, or do you put it in front of it? In this case, it's right there, and it works just like as if it were a pressure tap on a tongue muffler or any other arrangement such as that.
You know what? Yeah. Thank you, Peter. That's a good idea. I've been entertaining how I was going to hook up my.
Only thing is, though, you have to be careful not to get a pressure surge, and that's why they always put the tap just before the baffle on the high side of a pipe.
Well, then essentially this is basically before the baffle. Really is close to the high side of the pipe as you can get. At least that's where mine is. And if you're getting a pressure surge, it's no more or no less than you would get in any other situation. Like I said, you put a pressure tap on a muffler. It's right there in the main chamber, or on a tongue muffler. It's really basically pressure tap on a tongue muffler is absolutely no different than this.
What happens is that when you put a pressure tap that close,
yeah,
you get a surge a pipe, you get a shock wave that goes back, and then it comes back. And if it hits right when the exhaust comes out, you got both of them pressures going together, and you get a high surge of pressure. So the closer you get it to the high point of the pipe, the more it is constant, and you don't get the surge. I mean, I've never used pressure. That's why I said you have to talk to somebody who used pressure on a control line airplane, but on the old 60 pattern ships, we never put. We tried it. There used to be even a. Some of them had a tap. I don't know if I got one with a tap in the back of the motor.
I mean, considering the cross-sectional area of a pressure tap, I don't think that's really that great deal of a concern. Ultimately, then, if you're going to run uniflow, you don't absolutely have to run pressure on a pipe for a uniflow system. Just don't run pressure.
Right. He does. Well, he wants pressure. I'll find
I run pressure all the time
up here, but if you look at some of the old motors, they had a little, like a drop with a pinprick in it, and you could go through there and get pressure off the crankcase.
Oh yeah, you can do that too. That's if you want to drill something on the motor.
Right, and that was a deal too, where you got pressure surges, because you get that double deal from the pipe.
Huh. Well, we're not using the pipe the same way that the RC pattern guy.
It would be negligible. I would think it would be negligible.
Right. We're not using it the same, but you get the same effects off it.
Thing is I was going to say is that everybody that I know that runs a pipe, that I've looked at their system, have got their tap clear up on the body of the pipe, just in front or just ahead of the first baffle, and they usually got it glued in place with a what's that super epoxy?
Weld?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: if you drill the header and you put a pressure tap there, you try it. If you find it gives you adverse reactions, then it's no big deal just to put a little screw and some in there and seal it right back and move it.
That's a very good point. That's an easy thing.
Then you better have a way to get in there and stuff to your pipe, because when you build it and paint it, and you got your pressure tap in the wrong spot, it's going to be a real heartache to have to go cutting on your airplane and installing stuff.
Not really.
Removable.
Not really, because actually, the only modification you would have to make is just have to make it, because you have your pipe tunnel, and you have to run your silicone tubing from the pipe tunnel wherever it might be on the pipe. That's obviously after the silicone little coupler and going back along the length of the pipe. If you can't get at your pipe tunnel on a pipe ship, then you're building something wrong, because you need to be able to get in there to move the pipe forward and backwards to be able to tune the system.
Don't you need to be able to get in there just to melt the pipe?
Ultimately, if you do it on the header and it doesn't work out, you would need to mount it somewhere else on the pipe. Then if you're building it the way you're supposed to build it, where you can turn around and easily shift that pipe forward or backwards, it should be no big deal to be able to run a piece of silicone tubing further back in the fuselage. That's just my take.
All right. Yeah, everybody's welcome to do it their own way.
Yep.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a big deal. But if the one thing about it is, if you try it on the header and it doesn't work out the way you expect it to work out, it's a really easy fix. You just find a small Allen head or a screw, a little bit of sealant, plug up the hole.
If I can find Billy's pipe, I got it around here someplace. I don't know where exactly it's at, but it has a pressure tap, and I'll show you how Billy did his.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
How he sold it.
Excellent. Hey, Mike Lonke, do any of your pipes have any fittings on them, or nipples for running pressure? No? Okay.
Like I said, you're running uniflow. You don't necessarily, you don't even necessarily want to run pressure.
Yeah, my mic was off. No pressure fittings, no taps, no nothing. It's just a uniflow tank on a pipe, and they all have the stinger on the bottom.
Okay.
Well, and your
some people turn around and they take their uniflow, don't even put it out into the airstream. They turn around and say, well, you get surges because when it goes into the wind and out of the wind. So they turn around. Ultimately, the uniflow ends up being buried somewhere in the fuselage. So it's so many different ways and so many different theories on whether you're going to use it or not. I'm just saying, one of my pipe setup has the pressure tap right there on the header.
I don't know anybody who's running a pressure tap on a rear exhaust engine.
I do.
I use mine on my Stalkers and my K77s, but they have them.
Okay.
Never exhaust.
Well, I don't think that's a common thing on a Randy motor on a PA.
Okay.
A Stalker might be different. Maybe a Rojet. I don't know. I don't run those, but I run Randy motors, and I'm pretty sure you'd never be able to buy a glow plug from him again if you put a pressure tap on one of his pipes.
Yeah, right. It kind of would like kill the warranty if there is one.
Seems to me, I can remember, I may be wrong in this, but I think I remember that Gordon runs one.
Yeah, Billy ran them too.
And I think Whittle ran them. And I think either Fitzgerald or Fancher ran them. I don't know about Buck. But
so are you talking about a pressure tap on the pipe or crankcase pressure?
On the pipe.
Pipe. On the pipe.
On the pipe. I only know just a couple guys running the PAs, and I've kind of taken my advice from them.
What I mean is tune pipe system anywhere on the tune pipe system.
Go on Stunthangar and put a thread in there asking about it. I will.
I will do that. I'm getting my tune pipe is been on the boat since November 25th, and hopefully we'll get here someday. Casanado tune pipe.
I'd be kind of leery to mess with a $100 and some odd carbon fiber pipe and trying to put a pressure tap on it, but that's just me.
I'm not.
I know Billy Where would just come with them on him.
I'm not drilling any holes in my $120 Randy pipes, man. They run just fine the way they're supposed to with a uniform tank.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom, what's up? You're muted, Tom. You're muted.
Can't hear you, Tom.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
I
Tom.
don't think I'd be drilling holes in my pipe either.
Sorry.
That's why the header is a safe place to do it if you want to try it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I have a deep V racing boat. It has a Rossi 65 glow engine in it, and it has a tune pipe, and that tune pipe is tapped like Steve was talking about. It's just engine side of the largest diameter of the tune pipe.
There you go. That's where the high pressure wave starts.
And yep.
Now we're comparing boats to planes.
Well, yeah, that's a throttled engine, though, man. And
I've seen
there's plenty of RC.
That's a different. It's a totally different thing.
It is. That's a throttled engine, not a control line engine that's meant to run the way they are. There's plenty of RC pattern planes and fast stuff that had tuned pipes that were drilled and tapped for back pressure. But I think
You get a Werwich pipe, and it's got a little aluminum tube coming out that's held in place with an epoxy.
JB Weld.
JB Weld, and it's you can choose to use it, or you can leave it. Put a plug on it and leave it that way. But most of the guys I know that ran them used the muffler pressure. Of course, I'm a big fan of muffler pressure, and not everybody is.
Okay, who's doing that today, though, now?
Gordon Delaney.
Who's running a tune pipe with a pressure tap on it?
I believe Gordon Delaney. I believe
Just about all the LA guys.
Yeah, all of the West Coast guys are doing it, or most of them.
On what engines?
On PAs and rojets.
Okay, that's new to me. But I'm doing PAs, so
You're in the middle of the country, so you.
Well, here's a pipe from Bill Werwich that Steve's on the show.
Yeah, right there.
That's what I've seen before.
See that right there under his chin? That's the.
Okay.
Just the brass tube but here's the high pipe, so he's back a good 1.5 inches from the high point of the pipe.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's right from Billy.
And that runs to the overflow or the uniflow.
Yeah.
The uniflow, yeah.
Okay.
So, and I don't know what that is, but that mark's on there from him.
Oh, that mark is where the baffle is.
That's the baffle. That's when you cut it from the baffle to the flow plug.
That's when you measure from that to the
length. That's how you measure your pipe length.
But yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
Proof is positive.
Well, that's news to me. I'm kind of interested in that now. If that's like a thing, I had not ever heard of anyone pressure tapping a tune pipe on a stunt motor like that.
My friend Tom
when I
Morton.
run pressure, I get a more consistent engine run. I know the Uniflow fuel tank does that, has that property, but so does running pressure on your exhaust. It also, you lose a little bit of power, but it pays back dividends, and that you have a really even, consistent engine run. Now, it might be just my stalkers do that anyways, and so does my K77s, but they both have running pressure.
Well, how about a newbie question? As far as function wise, I've read up a little bit on the pressure tap from the muffler, and one article that a gentleman was talking about some of the OS Max 40s and the 20s, and that using the pressure obviously to control surges in the engine from the muffler pressure to give you a good even fuel pressure, basically. The tune pipe, I'm not sure exactly how that would relate to fuel if it's not connected to the tank. It's back pressure and allows the RPM of the engine to raise and lower. Is that what the tune pipe does? I know it's a real newbie question here, but
Okay, well, the tune pipe, basically what it is a tune pipe. Traditionally, a tune pipe was designed for performance in 2-cycle engines. Basically, a tune pipe, you've got an exhaust. When your piston opens and the exhaust port opens on the exhaust stroke, you get a pressure wave that moves along the pipe. And what happens is, depending on the length and where the baffles are in the pipe, it'll turn around. That shock wave of the exhaust will hit the baffle, and it will then travel back along the length of the pipe back towards the exhaust port. Well, it can operate in two ways. It can operate turning around when in a 2-stroke engine, when you're charging the cylinder with fresh fuel oil, with a fresh fuel oil mix for the next combustion cycle. What happens is that mixture is going out. Some of that mixture ends up going out your exhaust pipe on the exhaust. So you have end up having some fresh fuel and air mixing with your exhaust gases and actually being wasted going out of the engine. What a tune pipe can do is turn around, is when that exhaust port opens, the shock wave for the exhaust travels down the pipe, and then a reflected wave goes back. Just as the fresh fuel air mixture starts charging the piston for the next combustion cycle, that shock wave pushes that fuel air mixture and doesn't allow it to bleed out from the engine.
It actually shoves it back into the
exactly.
It's almost
like a supercharger.
Or it can be set up where it actually helps pull more of the fresh fuel air mixture into the combustion chamber. You actually lose some of that fuel air mixture, but it actually acts almost like a little bit of a supercharger. It ends up sucking more in. So depending on where the baffle is and on the length of the pipe, you can turn around and tune it to either hold more of that fuel air mixture in or suck more of it out. And what that ends up doing is depending how you're using it. In our instances, we're using it to regulate the amount, basically regulate engine RPM, so it doesn't change. So it always tries to remain constant. In other instances, like in racing or in high performance engines, what you're using it for is to get the maximum amount of fresh fuel air mixture into the engine without losing so much coming out the exhaust. Hope that explains it at least a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
When I raced go-karts, I had a wire underneath the steering wheel, and down the straightaways I'd pull it and shorten it up about 8 inches for higher RPM.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have shifter carts back then. We had clutches. It was a slipping type of a clutch. But what it is when you let the stinger all the way out, move that cone down, it would give you a low end power coming out of a corner. And once the RPMs came up, you could start pulling that in down the straightaways, and it would give you more speed.
And basically, this is something that really is mostly applicable to two-stroke engines, just because the way a two-stroke engine turns around, and actually when it's on its compression, when the piston is going up on its compression stroke, underneath in the crankcase, it's pulling a fresh fuel air mixture in. So when the ignition occurs and you have your power stroke and the piston starts going down, you have those ports in the motor that start pushing reducing the volume of space in the crankcase where all that fresh fuel air mixture is in there, and it shoves the new fresh fuel air mixture to the top of the piston and starts the next cycle. And that's where the tune pipe comes in, so you don't either lose any of that that mixture, or you turn around and you try to suck more of that mixture in, depending on what your ultimate goals are, and depending on the length, because it works on the speed of sound. Depending on the length of the motor and the RPMs that you're operating at, you can calculate that, okay, if it's 12 inches at the speed of sound, that shock wave traveling from the end of the pipe and then back to the exhaust port takes X amount of seconds or milliseconds. You can, by shortening or extending the pipe or making it longer or shorter, turns around and can give you a very, very tightly controlled power at a certain RPM rate.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's also, if I'm understanding everything you said correctly, it also related to prop load too, an engine load. If the engine loads up, and for the RPM most try to reduce, that's when that shock wave is going to, for lack of words, keep a constant RPM. Or am I getting too?
That's what we use it for in the stunt, is to keep the RPM constant.
Perfect. Makes sense now.
Yeah, they're using like on the downside of the maneuvers. It limits the RPM just because of that shock wave.
Right. So you're not speeding up.
Yeah, and how long that is.
Yeah, so we use it more like a governor, but I have very little experience with that. But going forward, my precious balsa and the plane I'm going to be flying pretty soon is an impact on a tune pipe with the K77. So I hope to become like a new frontier for me. I'm looking forward to it, but it's a new learning curve. But the advantage I'm looking for is that it'll slow down on the legs going down on the squares.
On four-stroke engines, it still does work, but it's not as critical for the simple reason your intake and your exhaust timings are all done via your camshaft when those valves open and close.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, you guys, I want to catch up on
Good
the chat
explanation.
box. And so Greg Nielsen, he said, good tip. You get more accolades, Tryon. More people applauding your idea. I think Tryon left, looks like. But anyways, we're going to close the live stream portion of the show, and we have the after party, and we have that to look forward to. But we've had I think we had 29 viewers at one point, and we have 21 thumbs up. So anybody out there who's still watching us, and maybe you watch for the first time, we do this live every Monday and Friday from 6:45 to about 9 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then we go into the after party. So that's where we're transitioning. I want to thank everybody for coming in.
Hey, Charles, I got to ask, why are you shutting down the live streams so early?
Well, because,
Friday night.
our shows are so long that our people can't watch YouTube that long.
I got you.
I want to build this channel, and so even though we can go on and have fun and maybe even have more fun, and some people look at YouTube videos, when they look at how long the video is, they're inclined to not even want to watch it. So it's I'm just trying to keep it that. That's why. I know we're in a good spot right now, and I'm ending it, but I see the time and I want to cut it off. So anyways, I'm going to end the stream, but we are going to continue, and I would encourage you, if you're wanting more, come in, join Stunthangar.com, and then you'll be able to come into the forum and find the link and come into the after party, and you can be part of the festivities. So until next time, we're going to meet again Monday, and I will see you there. Have some fun and come back and tell us all about it. So see ya.